Some very unfortunate news just came out regarding Bray Wyatt, so we'll see what's going on there. We'll also check out what's new for Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and much more. Let's start things off with the latest for Rhea Ripley. Rhea has just surpassed 100 days as WWE World Women's Champion, and everything has been going great for her so far. She's obviously a great talent and great champion. The only real ongoing criticism that the fans really have about her title reign is that they want more feuds and more title defenses, which is something that obviously isn't Rhea's fault. She's not the one that books the show. But that appears to be the fans' biggest complaint right now with the title reign. They just want to see more high-profile feuds and title defenses there for Rhea Ripley. Over those 100 days, Rhea Ripley has basically just feuded with Zelina Vega and Natalya. The feud with Natalya started off a bit strange because it was 2 squash matches, but the third one surprised everyone with just how intense and hard-hitting that match turned out to be. So it definitely ended on a big high note there for Natalya versus Rhea Ripley. And that final match between Natalya and Rhea looks like it also connected Rhea Ripley to her next feud. After Rhea Ripley successfully defended against Natalya, she tried to give Natalya a post-match beatdown, but out came the women's tag team champions, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, to save the day, and that made Rhea retreat. Well, the July 10th edition of Raw appeared to continue that tension between Rhea Ripley and the women's tag team champions. Rhea approached Liv and Raquel, telling them both to stay out of her business. Rhea was, of course, referring to the week prior where Liv and Raquel came out to save Natalya from the post-match attack. It's been reported that Rhea Ripley's SummerSlam opponent will allegedly be Raquel Rodriguez. And according to Rhea and Raquel's run-ins with each other over the last few weeks, that appears to be on its way of happening. It looks like it really will be Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam for the women's world title after all. That potential matchup is exciting because Rhea and Raquel have had plenty of iconic matches in NXT, and the two of them are close friends in real life. So putting them together for a match at one of the biggest shows of the year could be a great move. The only real story obstacle here is that Raquel is still tag team champions with Liv Morgan. We usually don't see a current tag team champion get a big singles match for another world title. That is pretty rare to see. So it'll be interesting to see how that factor works into the entire story. Liv and Raquel will defend their titles on Raw against Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. So maybe they also use this match to further progress the Raquel versus Rhea feud. Maybe it looks like Liv and Raquel are gonna successfully retain their titles, but maybe Rhea Ripley gets involved and costs Liv and Raquel the titles. Liv and Raquel got into Rhea's business with Natalya, so Rhea returns the favor in an even more devastating way of assisting Chelsea and Sonya to win the tag team titles from Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And that does seem like a possibility that'll really give Raquel a great reason to come after Rhea Ripley. Rhea cost them the titles. So now, Raquel is going to stand up and try to take away Rhea's title at SummerSlam. So it's most likely going to be Rhea Ripley versus Raquel, but it'll also be interesting to see what Liv Morgan's role will be in this feud. Liv Morgan has a rich history with both women. She spent a lot of time in a tag team with Rhea Ripley before the Judgment Day came around, and she has also won multiple tag team titles with Raquel. So Liv knows both of them very well, and it'll be interesting to see what happens there with Liv Morgan and how she'll play a role during this match at SummerSlam. If Raquel is unable to defeat Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam, or Liv accidentally costs Raquel the match, will their relationship with each other be able to overcome that big defeat as well? Raquel versus Rhea definitely looks like it's shaping up to be the major feud that the fans have been waiting for from Rhea Ripley's reign. So that should be very exciting to watch unfold. Bray Wyatt's long hiatus is quickly approaching month number 6, and not much news has been coming out. Fans were hopeful that SummerSlam season could be a good spot for his long-awaited return. But some unfortunate news just dropped that has fans worried that a SummerSlam season return may be off the table. Fightful is reporting that as of this second week of July 2023, Bray Wyatt is still allegedly not medically cleared to compete inside the WWE ring. So he hasn't been medically cleared to compete in the ring since early February, and is reported in the same exact state all those months later. It's currently unknown if any actual progress has been made in his recovery process, or if he's literally in the same state he was back in February. That part is still a big mystery. So it's definitely unfortunate to hear reports like that, but fans are still hopeful that he could be cleared and return sometime in the future. And speaking of Bray Wyatt, The Undertaker recently went viral for sharing his thoughts and how he feels WWE should book Bray Wyatt going forward in the company. Undertaker had this to say about Bray Wyatt's character direction while speaking with Metro. Quote, "They need to back Bray's character up to the original character, get away from. They've kind of got themselves booked into a situation where it's kind of difficult for him to have matches. I think the original Wyatt family Bray, that's the money. I got to work with Bray at Mania, the year after I got concussed in the Brock match. I worked with Bray, I think a lot of him, and I like what he's doing. I think they just have to figure out how to. They need to back it up, I think. His promos, and then his ability to work. He's an incredible, incredible worker, but he's not getting the opportunity to do it. I hope the best for him. I really do think a lot of him. We'll see what happens there." End quote. So that's Undertaker's thoughts on Bray Wyatt's current usage. He's saying that Bray's got the abilities both in the ring and on the mic. It just appears to be his new character that's causing a lot of disconnection and issues in the Undertaker's eyes. And the Undertaker does have a fair point. A character like The Fiend was obviously a major hit and quickly became one of the hottest things in pro wrestling when it first appeared. But since the character was portrayed to be this superhuman monster, it was a bit difficult to write that sort of character into storylines and wrestling matches. Because if you're going to present it as this monster and creature, he obviously can't lose any matches to regular humans. And that's why The Fiend started to get a bit off track. So Undertaker doesn't appear to be a fan of Bray Wyatt's monstrous alter egos and masked characters. He thinks they're difficult to book. Taker believes that Bray Wyatt's money-making perfect gimmick is his original character, the Eater of World Bray Wyatt, also known as Buzzard's Bray Wyatt. So, despite there being no solid updates on Bray Wyatt's status, still a lot of theories and conversations being had about him. So hopefully we do get to see him back in a WWE ring real soon. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.